Greetings, Patrick here, have Cheetah Will View, and welcome to Dollar Theater. That's right, it is Dollar Theater. And I was going to be doing a Masters of Horror. That was my initial plan, but the Midnight Society did a deep dive on the movie I'll be talking about for my review, and that is the Blackcoat's Daughter. So I watched this movie and I said that I said, well, we're going to deep dive this anyway, so I should go ahead and try to do a review. So that's what I did. That's what I decided to do. So a little history on this. This movie came out in 2016, and I got it a long time ago. I got it. I might have gotten it right after that, maybe 2017. At Family Video, of all places, Family Video. I believe this is one of those ones that I got for a 10 for 10 sale. But this is the A24 release. That was before A24 was anything. I just picked it up because I had heard people talk about it, and so I was like, okay. So I saw it for a good price, and I bought it. And then it sat on my watch pile like forever. And then I separated my A24s to their own separate section. And then when we're doing the Midnight Society, I thought, well, we've done A24 shows. We've done a couple of them. It's been a long time since we've done one. So I reached out to Mr. A24 himself, horror miser Monty G, plus the Wonder Twins, Kira and Mika, and our co-host for the Midnight Society, JT Justin, also known as the Gnat, the cat, and the bat. So we did a deep dive on the Blackcoat's Daughter, which when you're hearing this review right here, that has already passed, and I'll have that link down below. So if you guys want to watch it, you can. But I thought I'd go ahead and talk about this movie because I've seen two of Osgood Perkins' movie. Osgood Perkins' movie. I've seen two of them now. I've seen Longlegs, and I reviewed that, and also now the Blackcoat's Daughter. First and foremost, I would be real clear right up front. This is a much better movie than Longlegs is. It's very, very good. It's really good. It's really wasn't what I was expecting, and I thought that the story was very interesting, and I liked the way how he broke it up. There's really no clues until as far as like if you're not really paying attention, you're gonna miss certain clues. This basic story is a young woman, she's a freshman at a high school. Her name is Catherine, and she gets a feeling that her parents are going to die soon, and so it happens. So she's still at the school when it happens. She's also there with another student, a senior named Rose, and Rose is going to keep an eye on her, but she's got her own problems. She might be pregnant, and so lo and behold, she's not, and lo and behold, she walks in and sees Catherine doing a occult ritual, and she gets spooked by that, and she runs. And so the next day we see exactly that Catherine is not herself. Looks like she is indeed possessed, and she proceeds to lay waste to the two nuns and eventually Rose. While this is happening, we meet Joan, who she is on the road by herself, and we see that she has escaped a hospital. And she's just out there wandering around. She doesn't have any direction. Well, this nice man named Bill picks her up, says, we're going to go up to Brantford. That's where the high school was. You're more than welcome to go up with us. And Bill says, you sort of look like my daughter, and this, and we find out his daughter had been killed at the school 9 years ago, and so Joan is like, she's like, sort of stunned when he says that, but then they start telling the story, and we see that Joan is actually Catherine. 9 years after the fact that she had killed 3 people at the school, and she had escaped. And the people that she had been picked up with were none other than Rose's parents. That had kept going up there once a year to, for memorial for their daughter. And in a really cruel twist of fate, well, Catherine remembers Rose very well, even after 9 years and all the drugs that she would have been under. And she acts out on what she knows. She gets back to the school, and she's going to go back to the boiler room where she was doing her rituals with the devil, and try to get back connected with him, but that boat has sailed, and she tries to bring him forward, but she is unable to. So Joan, or Catherine, she is left out in the cold. Either she's going to freeze to death, or they're going to recapture her. I don't believe, because her parents died. I listened to the commentary on this, and Oz Perkins actually said that, like she's just now getting over the fact that, she's now getting the fact that her parents have died, and she's mourning over her parents. I find that really contradictory to this own story, considering that she caused her parents to die. She wanted her parents to die. She made a deal to have her parents die. That's what she wanted. And so, she wasn't mourning them at all. What she wasn't mourning her parents. She was mourning the fact that she couldn't raise the demon again. The demon had already left. That's what she was crying at the end for. And it was really interesting saying how, now she's realizing her parents are dead. That would indicate that she would have sort of any humanity left, or any empathy left. And she didn't. That disappeared 9 years ago. That's part of the deal. She came possessed. She had no more. There's no light in her. Even when she was in the, even after she went an exorcism at the mental hospital, she still was full of evil, as shown by her escaping the hospital and killing a woman for her ID. So I was really perplexed by the commentary that Catherine was, she was mourning her parents. It's like, no. This is it's an interesting story. I mean, it is definitely it is part psychological, but it is more of a supernatural horror. There is a basis for supernatural horror here, and just like Longlegs. I mean, that's what Nicolas Cage's character was. He was supernatural as well, and so this is actually his third. The films that he's done. He's done 3 now, and all have had supernatural elements to it. What I really found interesting was the Psycho connection. And there's a lot of that in the film, and a lot of Rosemary's Baby. There's a lot of symbolism that he used from both films. I don't think he used it as far as aping it, like I'm going to use it because it worked back then, so I'm going to use it now. I think it was just his way of paying homage to it. And he's totally entitled to that, especially when it comes down to Psycho. If he wants to, do that, then, he's more than welcome to it. He's earned it. When Rose and Catherine, Catherine is killing Rose, was very much reminiscent of Psycho, very much, even though it's in the hallway, but the way that she does it, how she does it. And this is a very, even though it's not, even though it's not graphically seen, but I got to tell you, this is a very graphic movie. And Osgood holds nothing back on this. There's a couple of scenes in there that will probably really upset people quite a bit, if it's the story. But still, the saddest part for me were Rose's parents. That was just heartbreaking. James Remar played the father, and Lauren Holly played the mother. This film was filmed in Canada, so this is basically a Canadian horror film, and it has all Canadian actors in it, except for Sharon Kipka. I believe Emma Roberts was in it, but a lot of the supporting actors, were all Canadian. It was shot in Canada. The three leads, Lucy Boynton, and who's English, and Shira Kipka. I can understand one thing. I can understand why. I can definitely understand why he's used her now twice out of 3 of his movies. Shira Kipka is a star. That is for sure. She has skills, and this movie is 9 years old. I know, ironic, right? 9-year-old gap. But you can see how bright and how strong of an actress she is. This is before she did the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and for Riverdale, but you could see back then, and she's not. I mean, she was only 17, I think, or 16 years old when she did this role. It's not. It's a heavy role it's a heavy role for an adult actor, much less than a teen. And of course, Emma Roberts also did a solid job as well, playing the older cat. She in the weird part was I had to go back to watch this because I didn't believe what I heard. But when Joan finds out who the parents are, when she finds out that she's not like you would think that she'd be looking to get away. Like, holy cow, it's the last place I want to be, right? And, but no, she goes inside the bathroom and she laughs. She laughs because she knows that she's the one that killed her kid. And she's laughing about it. It's pure evil. It's straight evil. It's just like, wow, there's no redemption at all for this person at all. I mean, that's just, she deserves what she's going to get. Whether it be freezing her ass out in the weather, or like I said, she's made so she escaped the hospital, so there's an alarm going on. She killed 3 people. That's gonna really. I mean, she has no future. She has no future. It's sort of like a Norrish ending, so to speak. Like, yeah, she's not getting captured again. She's not gonna go back. They're gonna end her. But I thought the locations were really good. They shot in the middle of winter. It looked cold. They mentioned that it was like, it was like in Canadian weather, it was like 40 degrees below. So I think it was probably like, in the mid-minus teens here, or maybe in the United States. But yeah, he says that it was he mentions how hard it was to shoot the film because everything was so damn cold that they were limited down to just doing one shot because the blood or makeup or what have you would freeze by the time they got the shot done. They couldn't go back and redo it because it didn't have, it wouldn't work. Now this is a early A24 film. Okay, this is early. This is before that they blew up to be everybody's cult darling, right? So this movie did not make very much money at the box office, actually, to tell you the truth. I believe it made less than $1 million. I think it made less than $40,000 at the box office. Now, normally, a director would have a very hard time in getting another gig out of that. Your movie only made $40,000, but there was something to be said about it. It just didn't play in a lot of theaters. It was critically acclaimed. It got good reviews from everybody, the fans and the press, and that helped it out a lot. And more people talked about it for a while. I haven't heard too much lately, which is sort of surprises me because, like I said before, this is a much better movie. I mean, I'm thinking about Longlegs. Longlegs made millions of dollars, but here's the difference. Back then, no one knew who the hell A24 was. They were just like IFC Midnight in that respect. You know, most of the movies that I talk about on IFC, you guys look at and go like, "What?" That's to be expected if you don't know, you know, if you don't know the company. So nobody really knew who A24 was at the time. The movie that broke A24 to the general public was definitely The Witch, and after that, that's, you know, it took off. That was their first major hit, and, you know, then they took off. But I like the fact that this one was underneath the radar, because now you can go back and see exactly before they became who they were. You can go back and see how they were doing it, and they did a really nice job here. I like the score. I like the direction. I didn't, like I said, I did not like Longlegs. I was, you know, I was like so surprised when I watched this and realized and saw how much better this was, more than Longlegs, and how Longlegs had a very similar feel as to the Blackcoat's Daughter. Overcast, cold, gray, gloomy. It's the same thing. I mean, the whole setting's the same. You know, the supernatural element is the same. But he did it better here. He did it better here. Now we know that there most likely will be a second Longlegs, considering it did so well. I just hope that if they do a sequel and Perkins does direct it, I'm hoping against hope that he will go back and do a different story. You know, make it more of a. I'd like to see a little bit more brightness into his storytelling, because I don't want it to come back and see the same thing we've already seen before. Now I haven't seen the monkey, so I'm sure the monkey might look better. But I'm talking about the two movies, you know, two most important movies. I don't consider the monkey being all that. You know, it's a horror comedy. I'm not, you know, this is not a comedy. Longlegs is not a comedy. This is definitely my style of movie. As far as horror goes, if I want to watch a horror film, I'm watching this before I watch. Or I'm even watching Longlegs more than I'm going to be watching the monkey, because of the horror aspect of it. But I thought this was great, and a very good debut. Very good debut. I wasn't impressed, like you heard just from me say. I wasn't really impressed with Longlegs, but after watching this and after talking about it on the Midnight Society, I can definitely see why this movie is worth talking about. We're gonna have a lot of fun, and I hope that you go down and click the button down below and go out and check us out. It'll be, like I said, it'll be me, Justin, Monty G, and the Wonder Twins. Yeah. As far as features go, for this is a 95-minute long movie. There are some special features. There's a making of, and there is a director's commentary that I highly recommend that you listen to after you watch the movie. I watched the movie, turned around and watched it again with the commentary. And Oz is a very good speaker, and he talks very well. He's very eloquent, and he talks. You know, he really does. He does like this movie a lot. He thinks he's right. He did a very good job for this, considering this is his debut. All right, well, that is it for the Blackcoat's Daughter, and I got to give this out as well. So this is the Dollar Theater. A Dollar Theater is an ongoing series started by my good friend Hobbs Horror, and this is where we watch and review films for $1.25 or less. I got this for $1, 10 for 10, over at the Family Video. Long live Family Video. You still see the stickers right there. We miss Family Video, sure do. Boy, I miss that place. Yeah, I got this a dollar Family Video for $1, and well invested. I wish I had watched this sooner, to tell you the truth. I just didn't know how good it was. I didn't really read any of the reviews because I am sort of like, you know, I hear A24 and everybody hypes it up, and I drag my feet to it. Okay, so I dragged my feet for years before I got this, but I wanted to talk about it because I heard so much about it, and I said, well, you know what? Why not? No one else is doing it at the moment, so why not us? So hopefully you'll enjoy. Like I said, hopefully you'll enjoy the discussion. All right, well, that is it for us. Thank you for watching. If you like what you heard, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, hit the notification bell, and then drop a comment down below. And we will be back next week with a Masters of Horror. Right now, I'm on a horror gig. Me and the Cheetah, we're feeling it. So we'll be back for next week with another Masters of Horror gem. I don't know which one we're watching, but whatever it is, you know it's going to be damn good. All right, we're out of here. Thanks for watching. Peace.